Now, there have been some rumors floating around, mainly being Leaf fans, that Connor McDavid will hit free agency and join the Toronto Maple Leafs. Where have I seen this before? So here we are, Connor McDavid on the Toronto Maple Leafs in NHL 26 alongside Austin Matthews and William Nylander. We got Nicholas Waugh on the roster, as well as John Tavares and Matt Nyes. Domi will be our third-line center. Defensively, Tanev and Morgan Riley. OEL with Brendan Carlo, and then Philip Myers and Jake McCabe. And between the pipes, we're rocking with Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz. And it is very simple. We're going to find out if Connor can finally grab a Stanley Cup with his hometown team in Toronto. And also the first Stanley Cup for Toronto since 1967. Now, obviously, I do not expect this to happen in real life. I fully expect Connor to re-sign on a 4-year contract in Edmonton. But at the end of the day, this is every Leaf fan's fantasy, seeing the greatest player in the world today join their franchise in the middle of his prime. So at the end of year number 1 in the Connor McDavid era, Maple Leafs will go 51-23-8, 110 points at the top of a very loaded Atlantic division and the best team in all of hockey. Connor McDavid has arrived. Funny enough, the Edmonton Oilers, even without Connor, are going to end up finishing second place in the league. Winnipeg number 3, Detroit was number 4, and the Dallas Stars number 5. I honestly can't even believe that Edmonton literally had the same amount of wins that we did at 51. For reference now, this is what the roster currently looks like. Obviously, a massive hole has been left with the absence of Connor McDavid. Draisaitl is great, 96 overall, but they are overall a much weaker team than before, but still won 51 games in the regular season. Individually, McDavid had 37 goals, 120 points, Nylander with 107, and Austin Tummyache Matthews 57 goals, 106 points. And then there's a massive gap to guys like Tavares and Riley, who only had 61. Nicholas Waugh had a 51-point season. So offensively, we most definitely are carried by our top line. And then between the pipes, they split the games. Wall had a 924, Stolarz with a 911. McDavid will finish with the most points in the National Hockey League, and it would not be close. Jack Eichel would have 107, as well as Nylander and Matthews. Nikita Kucherov cracked the century mark, and for the goals, Jack Eichel had a 60-goal season on Vegas in a contract year. Man, I'm telling y'all, there's no better sports athlete than a hockey player in a contract season. Nikita Kucherov had 59, Matthews 57, and David Pastrnak 54. Now, the one thing that cannot happen as we play the Ottawa Senators in the first round is the Edmonton Oilers. They cannot win the Stanley Cup before us, otherwise it's a complete and utter failure. We have to get it done first, or they just never get it done at all. If they somehow find a way to win a Stanley Cup before Connor McDavid, man, if they find a way to win a Stanley Cup before Connor McDavid, I don't even want to know what Twitter would look like. Right now, we are dominating the Ottawa Senators, up 3-1 in our first round matchup, and we end up gentlemen sweeping them in round number 1. We definitely have a tougher matchup in the Tampa Bay Lightning in round 2. Although now with a 99 overall Connor McDavid, we walk into any series, essentially with the best line in all of hockey that can generate offense pretty much like nobody else. The bad news is, defensively and goaltending wise, we're hurting right now. Down 3-1 in the series to the Lightning, we gotta force a game 6. First period, a 1-1 tie, Matthews and Jake Gensel. Second period, we have the lead. Relying on Joseph Woll between the pipes right now to save us, shut the door. It's only a 1-goal advantage. Power play for Toronto. Can we get anything on it, please? How long is the power play? We got a 5-minute major and we don't get a single goal. No way! And then Victor Hedman is gonna tie the game up at 4. Here we go in overtime with our season on the line in Toronto. Can Connor McDavid come up clutch and score a big-time goal for the Maple Leafs as he tries to take a shot on net out of the middle? And there it is! Austin Matthews' hat trick will save our season, and we have forced a game number 6 back in Tampa Bay. That was absolutely nuts. McDavid with a 3-apple night. Nylander had 3 assists, and Austin Matthews a hat trick facing elimination. McDavid is single-handedly changing the culture here in Toronto. He has essentially turned Austin Matthews into a playoff performer. Maybe the perfect centerman that Matthews needed. Maybe he needed to be on the wing. Well, never mind. We are getting absolutely dominated 5-1 in Tampa Bay. I guess it was just not meant to be. Brendan Carlo gets one on Vasilevsky. It's not going to matter. A 3-goal advantage for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have eliminated us in 6 games in round number 2. Individually, William Nylander was our best player with 15 points in 11 games. McDavid had 13 in 11. I expected a little bit more. Matthews had 7 goals. Our secondary scoring support really was not there. And between the pipes, oh dear God, both of these goalies absolutely absolutely shit the bed. The good news is we lost to the eventual champs in the Tampa Bay Lightning as they dominated St. Louis in 5 games. McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Jack Eichel, the Maurice Richard. Bouchard's going to take home the Norris. Braden Point, the Conn Smythe. Connor Hellebuck, another Vezina. And for the Selke, it will go to Sidney Crosby. The bad news is for Toronto, I am not going to be the general manager, so we are completely relying on the CPU to build a championship contending roster around McDavid, Matthews, and Nylander, which honestly shouldn't be that hard considering they have a good roster right now. It is more so just fine-tuning the minor details, like maybe let Stolarz go. Wall is a lot better than him now at an 89 overall. Maybe pick up a defenseman or a depth forward. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it is not my job. I'm just here to simulate and see if McDavid gets it done with his hometown team in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rasmus Andersson is the biggest name free agent out there. We got Adrian Kempe at an 88, Alex Tuch, Evander Kane. This would be the class of Connor McDavid, but he did re-sign in Toronto. We're pretty much going to run back the same roster. Still Matthews, Nylander, McDavid on the top line. Nicholas Waugh now has grown to an 87. I think we move up Tavares to the second line alongside Waugh and Nyes, and then we can go like Domi, Bobby McMahon, and David Camp. Defensively, Riley and Tanev are still pretty good. McCabe and Carlo, OEL, and then we picked up Ian Cole. Ian Cole was our big free agent acquisition. The good news is Joseph Woll has grown all the way up to an 89 overall. Stoley's down to an 83. What did we re-sign him to? The contract isn't great. $4.7 million on a 3-year deal. For a guy that's 32, already regressing, and we need money to spend on our forward core, I believe the time is now. McDavid has spent a full season in Toronto, so he's going to be named as the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Matthews was never really going to be the guy to lead us to the promised land. McDavid ended up re-signing on a $13.7 million contract for 8 seasons, so he is locked up long-term. He has the longest tenured contract on this roster. McDavid is here to stay. A very strong start to the second season of McDavid's tenure as a Leaf as we start out 23-7-2. Back-to-back great seasons by Toronto, 54 wins, 22 regulation losses, 6 in overtime. Yet again won the Atlantic Division, and we are the best team in the National Hockey League for a second consecutive year. Tampa Bay came in number 2. Florida is still obviously a powerhouse in the Eastern Conference. Colorado's great, and Seattle, they have broken away from the mid-allegations. McDavid damn near set a brand new career high, 50 goals and 148 points. Led the way offensively. Matthews had 106, Nylander with only 97. Tavares had a comeback year, scoring 32 goals and 83 points. Morgan Riley was solid with 73 points. Maybe he is a top 5 defenseman again. And Joseph Woll, 5 shutouts, 917 save percentage, and 44 wins in his first season as a starter. McDavid again is going to win the Art Ross with the most points in the league. Nikita Kucherov had the most goals at 60. Matthews had a great season, scoring 58. McKinnon had 57, as well as Evander Kane. What? Evander Kane just turned into a superstar at 35 years old for Seattle. The man is only an 86 overall. They paid him in the offseason $6.5 million to damn near put up 60 goals, 94 points, a literal career high by Evander. I mean, shout out to Kane for getting it done, dude. A very successful season. Maybe he found himself a brand new home for the remainder of his career. We got Sasha Barkov setting a new career high, as well as Cale Makar. Austin Matthews was solid. McKinnon had 104. Sam Reinhart with 104 points. Third year in a row of the Battle of Ontario in the first round. Right now, we won twice. Trying to go 3-0 against the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa really cannot do much with us right now. They're down 3-1 in the series. They do force a Game 6, though. Toronto does have some issues closing out series, and we have to go to a Game 7 in typical Toronto Maple Leaf fashion. After being up 3-1 first period, we got a 2-2 tie. Second period, entering the third, it will be all knotted up at 3. And now we can start shitting our pants. Oh no, Jordan Spence on the power play. He's going to score one on Joseph Woll, giving the Ottawa Senators a lead, trying to complete the comeback after being down and out. Pretty much counted out by everybody in this series. We were leading 3-1 in this series over Ottawa. We blew back-to-back games, and now in a Game 7 with less than a minute to go, we're down by 1. Oh my God, Matt Nyes! Yes, Matt Nyes in the slot will bury it. His third of the series will tie the game up at 4. I thought for sure we were going to get absolutely roasted for blowing a 3-1 lead, but Nyes in the slot on the 1T. Questionable pass from Nicholas Waugh, but Matt Nyes shot speed 153 miles per hour. Talk about a goddamn sniper. All right, it is back to a tie game. Austin Matthews has 5 goals in the first round. Matt Nyes has 3. McDavid and the big dogs are out. Listen, Connor, you just have to score 1. You don't even have to score, honestly. You can play make it to somebody else. Let Matthews take all the goals. Why was Austin Matthews a foot offside there? I believe this is the computer AI that they said in their trailers would play like their real-life counterparts. We got Austin Matthews literally sitting in the zone, receiving the pass, even though he was a foot offside. Like in this universe, does Austin Matthews not know what offside is? Does he have CTE? Maybe the guy has a concussion. Come on, EA. Y'all still have not fixed the offside bug where the CPU just doesn't know what that rule is. Maybe I got to turn it off. Maybe it will make it more exciting seeing computer versus computer hockey with no offsides. Oh my God, go McDavid, wheels. He's gone to the middle. Nylander can't bury it. William Nylander in the slot literally had an opportunity to win this hockey game and he couldn't get it done. Here come the Ottawa Senators the other way. Thomas Chabot trying to dance into the zone. Doesn't get by Chris Tanev. Over to Matthews, finding Riley, all the way up to Connor. McDavid entering the zone, gets laid out by Chabot, and we are headed to overtime. Game 7 overtime in the very first round. I mean, the pressure doesn't get any higher. Not for a Leaf fan, at least. Especially after being up 3-1 in the series, we have to win this. We cannot lose to the Ottawa Senators, blowing a 3-1 series lead. Matthews into the zone. He rips a shot on net. Saved by Linus Ullmark, though. They're going to battle for it in the corner. Matthews walking out on the backhand, and Ullmark is going to play that puck. Little bit of a risky play, but Ottawa trying to get it out of the zone. Chris Tanev go D to D. Smart play. Riley just gives it off to the other team. At least they got that accurately. Greg Batherson. Oh no. Kachuk in the slot. Thank God he didn't decide to shoot that. He had an opportunity in the slot to bury. What is up with the computer passing this game? It is so bad, man. Like, it seems like they don't know at all where they want to give the puck to. Defensive zone draw yet again. 15-22 left to go in OT. We got McDavid against, who is that? Oh no, Ridley Gregg. Thank you, Chris Tanev, for blocking that shot. Zetterlund doesn't get a shot on net. McDavid has no energy. We have to make a change. Get our second line out on the ice. Chris Tanev, get it in deep, buddy. There you go. Smart play. We are in overtime now. Any mistake could be costly as the Ottawa Senators will dump and chase. John Tavares breaks it out to Morgan Riley. All the way up to Matt Nyes. He has the game-tying goal so far. Nyes ripping a shot on net. Ullmark with a save. Get in there, Nicholas Waugh. We need you hard on the forecheck. Zulp. Can he turn it over? No, he will not. Cousins the other way. He's got a step. Dylan Cousins. Nice defending there by McCabe. Helped out his D partner. Nyes getting board played on the wall. Halfway through overtime. Oh no, Dylan Cousins right down the middle. Cousins, but Joseph Wall will deny him. And here come the Leafs the other way. Counterattack. Waugh over to Tavares. Doesn't get a shot on net. I don't know what that 3-on-2 was by Toronto. We could have got a better shot than that. Nyes into the zone. Oh no, bad turnover. Amadio the other way on a breakaway. Save by Wall. Damn, that one was close. Defensive zone draw yet again. Come on, Toronto. We got to do something here, man. Shots are 36-32 for the Leafs. Here comes Bobby McMahon dumping the puck in deep, and it's out of play. Max Domi to take the draw against Shane Pinto. Do we win it? No, we do not. Ottawa gets possession off of that faceoff. Amadio, he had a breakaway, but he got denied by Joseph Wall. Wall was good on that B-way. Bobby McMahon again. Second time is the charm. David Camp into the zone. Backhander. Easy save for Ullmark. I don't know why we're sitting back. I literally have full attack on for the Leafs. Turnover by Ottawa. I want to get our top line out there, but we got the wrong change right now. The long change for the Maple Leafs here in OT. The bench is on the opposite side. Max Domi. Move that puck up, Domi. There we go. Over to David Camp. Camp in the zone. Trying to take a slap shot. He still has it. Out in front. Rebound. Domi can't bury it. We have full pressure change. Go for a change. Get our top line out there. Come on. Get on the ice, please. William Nylander, go. Nylander with McDavid. Over. No, why would you give it to Tommy Matthews? He wasn't even open. 50 seconds to spare here in overtime. McDavid with the turnover, trying to get a shot on net. He can't get one either. We got 45 remaining. Again, a bad turnover by the Maple Leafs. Ridley Gregg coming in the zone. Gregg firing it in the middle. Floaty puck. It's a floaty puck. Shot saved by Wall. Smith behind the net. He's going to play it back to the line. Spence getting pressured by Matthews. Austin gives up to Connor. McDavid going wide. I don't know what Connor McDavid is doing right now. Dump and change, I guess. Over to Smith again. The Ottawa Senators holding on as the inferior team. Chabot keeps it in, but Tavares, here we go. One final rush for the Leafs. John Tavares into the zone, finding Nyes, over, Riley, yes! Morgan Riley will bury it, and your Toronto Maple Leafs are headed to round number 2. The top 5 defensemen finally showed up. I'm not gonna lie, that one was definitely a close one. We damn near blew a 3-1 lead to Ottawa, and then we got to play Tampa Bay yet again. That team that beat us last season in the second round, they dominated us as well. We got to try to get a revenge. It's not going great. Down 2-0 right off the hop. Oh my God, why are we getting bullied by Tampa Bay? I guess the Lightning are just a better hockey team than us. I don't know what it is. Entering the third period, thank God we survived again and we force a game 6. Actually, no, we only forced a game 5 because we were down 3-0. It has been an absolute roller coaster of a playoff run. First period, down by 1. Second period, we are down by 1 yet again. The Tampa Bay Lightning have a 2-1 lead, but Connor McDavid, Captain Connor, ties the game up at 2. And your Toronto Maple Leafs, yes, William Nylander giving us the lead on Andrei Vasilevsky. Can we force a game 6? Yes, we will. We have to take it one game at a time, and we're down by 1 yet again. Jake and Bake on Joseph Wall, down 2-1, entering the third period. Same situation as game 5. Tavares, our former captain, is going to score and tie the game up. We just need Nylander, Matthews, Connor, somebody. No! Tampa Bay retakes the lead in the third. 8 minutes to spare in the third period. Come on, Toronto. All we need is one. Somebody tie the game up, please. Unfortunately, we lose yet again to the Lightning in the second round. It is an awful feeling yet again to fall short. McDavid had 15 points in 13 games. Where is the 30-point playoff runs? It is completely evaporated from his time in Edmonton. Look at that. 33, 20, 42, 33. And now he's down to 13 and 15. I know he's playing a whole lot less games, but man, Connor McDavid, you got to produce a little bit more than that. Nicholas Waugh was their second best player. Matthews only had 10 points. Nyes had 10. Nylander didn't really show up. And Joseph Wall has not been a great playoff performer whatsoever. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to go back-to-back in this universe as they beat the Edmonton Oilers. Damn, we were this close to seeing Edmonton win it before Connor McDavid. McDavid the Lindsay, Art Ross and Hart Trophy again. Kuch the Maurice Richard. Makar is going to take home the Norris. Conn Smythe to Nikita Kucherov. Andrei Vasilevsky the Vezina. And Connor McDavid will win his first ever Selke. Back-to-back seasons and back-to-back disappointing playoff exits. As we have the greatest goal scorer of all time in Alexander Ovechkin retiring after 971 goals. Nicholas Backstrom is gone, Corey Perry, Ryan Suter, and Torrey Krug. The good news is we have a few guys locked up long-term, but Austin Matthews only has 1 year left on his contract. I'm praying that the computers can get this man signed. Bring him back to Toronto. Brendan Carlo might be gone this season. Goaltending-wise, Joseph Wall only has 1 year left on his $3.3 million deal. The man is probably going to want to raise, even though he does not deserve it. This is probably the time that Quinn Hughes joins the New Jersey Devils, although the dude is asking for $20 million. Vince Dunn is an available free agent. Nico Heischer's on the block. Alex DeBrincat, Jonathan Drouin, and Darcy Kemper is the biggest known goaltender that is available. Did we make any big name moves? No, we did not. We're going to run back the same roster. We still have Nylander, McDavid, and Matthews on the top line. Nyes with Tavares and Waugh. Our top 6 is really good, man. Offensively, I don't think is an issue, although defensively, we're getting worse and worse year by year, and between the pipes, Joseph Wall now is only an 87, and Austin Matthews is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. Yet again, the Maple Leafs are going to be a great regular season team. We went 51, 26, and 5, 107 points. The regular season at this point doesn't really mean much. All about the postseason, all about getting Connor McDavid his first ever Stanley Cup. The bad news is the Florida Panthers are still an absolute wagon, winning 57 games. Connor played great yet again, 50 goals, 120 points. Matthews had 90. William Nylander, 88. Tavares, 72. Nicholas Waugh, a brand new career high. 20 goal season. He had 65 points. Really thriving now on the Maple Leafs after being here for 2 years prior. Joseph Wall had 40 wins, 6 shutouts, a .913 save percentage, decent stats, while Anthony Stolarz is 34 years old and completely washed up. McDavid will have the most points in the league at 120. Braden Point came in second with 112. Kucherov, Pasternak, McKinnon, Barkov are some of the other names on the leaderboard. And then Nikita Kucherov, he's been one of the most lethal snipers of this video. 63 goals, leading the way. Passed ahead 55, McKinnon 55, and then Connor McDavid had a 50 50-goal season. It'll be a tough matchup against Tampa Bay, I'm not gonna lie. They got a very solid roster, but so do we. Connor has yet to make the conference finals in a Maple Leaf uniform. Hopefully all of that will change today. This playoff run begins against Tampa Bay. Oh dear God. We dropped the first 2 games on the road. We just need to do a lot better starting these series out. A lot of the times we're just falling behind. Obviously not counting that Ottawa one where we blew a 3-1 lead, and here it is. We are now in the position of being down 3-1 in the series. Do we have the guts to claw our way back and somehow pull a rabbit out of a hat? Tampa Bay does have the lead 2-1 here in the third period, over halfway through the third, and there it is, Nikita Kucherov on Joseph Woll. That will pretty much seal the deal on this year's playoff run as the Maple Leafs get absolutely dusted. We can't really call it a playoff run. We only played 5 games where Austin Matthews was our leading scorer. John Tavares had 4 points. Wait a minute, where the hell is Connor McDavid? Oh dear God, Connor, not a single goal and only 2 points in 5 games? We live in a universe where the New York Islanders win the Stanley Cup more recently than the Toronto Maple Leafs. They went through an entire rebuild and still somehow managed to get a cup before us. Despite that, Connor McDavid will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross and Hart Trophy. Kucherov, the Maurice Richard. Charlie McAvoy, interestingly enough, is going to win the Norris. We got Bo Horvat, named the Conn Smythe winner, Vasilevsky the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Connor. Damn, the Sharks rebuild is not going as planned as they go ahead and win another draft lottery. The best defenseman of the 2010s is calling it a career in Erik Karlsson. Captain Sirius is gone. Chris Letang's retiring. Roman Josi and Alex Pietrangelo, that Canadian trader. Matthews is going to take up about 50% of the cap on his new $18 million contract. That man is getting the bag. We got Nylander locked up. Tavares has 1 year left on his contract. Morgan Riley is still here for 2 more seasons. Matthias Maselli's contract is up, as well as Max Domi, OEL, Nick Robertson, and Joseph Woll right now is currently an unrestricted free agent. This offseason is absolutely crucial. We have guys like Clayton Keller available, although the man damn near wants $15 million. Thomas Chabot is a 90 overall. Brady Tkachuk is on the market. Dougie Hamilton, any good goaltenders. Dustin Wolf is only an 86 overall at age 27. I guess that's why I create my own custom rosters. Hopefully the computers can cook and we can actually find a big name free agent to add to this roster, cementing us as the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup. Man, I sound so incredibly delusional right now. We are not even close to that. Here we go. It looks like again a season will go by where the computer AI general manager does not add anything to this team. We got 73 and 74 overalls in our forward lineup. Morgan Riley's dropped down to an 86. We got a washed up Drew Doughty, Zub, McCabe. Like really our decor is pretty rough. Luckily we did re-sign Joseph Woll, 86 overall, and we still have a 99 Connor McDavid. Might have been a mistake to sign in Toronto, I'm not gonna lie. There is no way the AI GM signed Sheldon Keefe to be our head coach. This man got fired like 4 years ago in this universe, and all of a sudden he has a return story to Toronto. At this point, I don't think any Leaf fans really want to see Sheldon Keefe behind the bench ever again. It does make for a funny story though, I will say that. We had a very strong start to the season last year. I think we were like 22-3 to start out. So I'm not putting a lot of stock into the regular season anymore. We're probably going to be a playoff team still, but can the culture change in Toronto to where we become a playoff performing team? 47, 28, and 7. Very solid record for the Toronto Maple Leafs, third in our division behind Florida and Tampa Bay. God damn, the Atlantic is an absolute bloodbath, man. We got Colorado being the best team in the NHL, winning the President's Trophy with 108 points. We were a top 10 team right beside the Edmonton Oilers, who have made a cup final. They made it farther than we ever did, but they do not have a Stanley Cup yet in this universe. McDavid is going to go off this season, 52 goals, 144 points. Matthews went 60 and 110. Nylander 101. Tavares had 77. So it looks like we got back to our offensive ways. We didn't have to rely on the depth that we do not have anymore. While Joseph Woll had a .911 save percentage, 2 shutouts, and 39 9 wins. We are going to have the leader in points, which is McDavid at 144, and Nikita Kucherov just narrowly beat out Austin Matthews with 2 more goals than him. They both had a 60-goal season. McKinnon had 57, Draisaitl 54, so even without Connor McDavid, this guy has been producing. 103 now. He did have a little bit of a dull drought. 3 straight seasons in a row not hitting over 100 points, but he's back to his norm. 54 goals, 103 points on the season. Oh man, the Florida Panthers in round number 1. Not looking forward to this matchup whatsoever. We're probably going to get destroyed, I'm not going to lie. Although there is a chance. The state of Florida hockey teams have just been whooping our ass essentially for the entire 2020s at this point. Dating back to real life all the way up to where I put McDavid on the Leafs. We have struggled against Tampa Bay, and of course the Florida Panthers also have had our number. Thinking about it mathematically, that does have to change at one point, right? We can't just consistently get belted every single time we run against these teams in the postseason. One of these years has to be the season we get the Stanley Cup. As we enter the 3rd period, no, we got to go to overtime. We have a 3-2 series advantage over the Florida Panthers. Are they going to force a Game 7? Or will the Toronto Maple Leafs dethrone Florida and move on to round 2? The old and washed up Drew Doughty did it. I don't believe it. He scored in double overtime against the Florida Panthers to send us to the 2nd round. Again, it don't get any easier from here on out. We got to face the Tampa Bay Lightning. They end up beating us in the first 2 games. We win Game 3. Game 4 now becomes a must win. If we don't get it done, yes, thank God. Our season was definitely in jeopardy. But as of right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are headed to the conference finals to face the reigning defending champs in the New York Islanders. Okay, shit's become real now. This is actually our first playoff run. We win the first 2 games against the Islanders. We win game number 3. Can we move on to the Cup Finals? Oh my God. The Maple Leafs are going to play for the Stanley Cup up against the Minnesota Wild. That was our first time ever winning a round 3 matchup in franchise history. It is about time that Connor McDavid becomes a Stanley Cup champion. All right, Toronto, this is it. Up 3-2 over the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota for game number 6. And entering the 3rd period, it is all tied up at 4. They are not going to go down without a fight. William Nylander will give us the lead on Jesper Wallstedt. This has just became real. Halfway through the 3rd period, can we hold on? Can Joseph Walls shut the door? Can we break the curse in Toronto? No, Mangiapane out of fucking nowhere. And we have to head to overtime. How does that even happen? We had the victory in the bag. Minnesota and Toronto are deadlocked at 5 as Matthews takes a shot. Rebound. Oh my God, Matthews is hungry for that goal. McDavid back to the blue line. Jesper Wallstedt, he's going to play it right on the stick to Connor. No, McDavid doesn't even get a shot on net. How? How did the best player in the land? Oh, dear God. What just happened? Marco Rossi walks into the slot. Joseph Wall, buddy, you have to have that save. And now we got to go to a Game 7 on home ice with the most pressure that we have faced pretty much in the entire McDavid plus Matthews era. I'm nervous watching this. I couldn't imagine what the players are going through right now. First period, we got no score in the hockey game, out shooting them 13-8. Second period, Brock Faber on the power play will give Minnesota the advantage, and right now we're behind the 8 ball. The Leafs on home ice are choking yet again. No. Power play for Minnesota. Thankfully, we kill it off. Another power play. Can we remain disciplined? Stop taking stupid penalties, please, for the love of God. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. We're only down by 1. We're on home ice. We got to do something big here, man. We do not want to choke away a 3-2 series advantage and yet again crumble underneath the pressure. Why do we not? Why do we have the 4th line out there? Get the big dogs out there. Dump it in deep. There we go. Go for a line change. We don't have a lot of time to work with. 2:45 left to play here in the 3rd period. Minnesota trying to hang on to their 1-0 lead. Shutout, shutout, shutout. I'm not taking any chances. Kirill behind the net. Kaprizov walking out. Rings it off the post. Fuck. How? How do we allow that to go in? We allow the captain and Kirill to just completely walk out in front with no pressure whatsoever and put it in the back of the net. It is so over, it's not even funny. McDavid has 20 goals in the postseason. Game 7, Stanley Cup Finals. Yet again, Connor loses in another one. I think this is a Maple Leaf problem, though. Matthews over to McDavid. Shot, easy save by Wallstedt. No offensive pressure whatsoever. No forecheck. We're just not hungry enough. 47 seconds to go. Drew Doughty's going to break that puck out. How is Drew Doughty still playing hockey? Connor McDavid coming in the zone. McDavid ripping a shot. Wallstedt again makes the save. McDavid back to the blue line. Block shot by Minnesota. Matthews takes a shot at it. He can't score. Nobody can beat Jesper Wallstedt right now. The man is a brick wall. Mangiapane just wastes the clock right now for Minnesota. It is a 2-goal advantage. I don't think they're going to blow it. Matthews, where are you going? Deking into the middle. Over to Morgan Riley. Finding Robertson. Shot. Save again by Wallstedt. He has no stamina, but it does not matter. 12 seconds to go. Oh, great. They get another one. Mangiapane on a fucking one-timer like he's Alexander Ovechkin. A straight-up garbage showing by the Maple Leafs in Game 7 will lead to the Minnesota Wild winning the Stanley Cup on the road in Toronto. The place is quiet as hell. The fate of the hockey world on the shoulders of all those players suited up in the blue and white, and they crumble yet again. There has to be some sort of curse. I don't understand it. We had one game to win with the best player in the world at a 99 overall, and we failed to do so. We were so close, yet so far. McDavid, 20 goals. 37 points. Matthews had 28. William Nylander was solid. Like, everybody chipped in. This was the season that we should have got it done, but Joseph Woll, I don't know, man. I can't really blame him. He was 15-7-1 with one shutout and a .935. Didn't really play his greatest game in Game 7, but there was no offensive support whatsoever. And goal-scoring wise, come on, Austin Matthews. Why are you turning into the playmaker while Connor McDavid has to be the sniper of this squad? It should not have to be like that. McDavid again, Lindsay, Art Ross at Hart Trophy, Miro Heiskanen in the Norris. We got Kaprizov winning the Conn Smythe, Vasi with his 3rd consecutive Vezina, and the Frank J. Selke yet again will go to Connor McDavid. We got the great Anze Kopitar retiring. Brad Marchand is out of here. Jonathan Huberdeau, who actually somehow cracked over 1,000 career points. Brent Burns at age 44 decided to hang him up. John Carlson is gone. Evander Kane, who had that one insane season where he scored 57 goals and 94 points for the Seattle Kraken. The only good news really is that we have our core players locked up. Nicholas Robertson needs a new contract, but outside of him, I think we're good. Everybody is going to be returning. Does that say we're paying John Tavares $7.3 million at 38 years old? Oh yeah, we're cooked. We get $7.8 million in salary cap available. Andrei Svechnikov wants 13. He's out of our budget. Alexei Protas probably wants too much. Middlestat, no. Barrett Hayton, maybe we can sign him. But I do have a feeling the computer AI will not sign anybody, and we'll probably head into next season with some 70 overall players on our starting day roster. Matthews, McDavid, and Nylander yet again. Nicholas Waugh has grown to an 86. Tavares, despite the fact that he's 38, the man is still good alongside Matt Nyes. Our bottom 6 is pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. Wait a minute. We have a 53 overall on our 4th line. Not gonna lie, defensively, we're pretty bad too, and Joseph Woll now is only an 85 overall as he's 31 years old and already regressing. Sheldon Keefe, dude, I really don't know how we're still keeping you around. Make the final or lose your job is essentially what I'm giving him right now. Stanley Cup or bust every single season. We live in a world where the Buffalo Sabres are the best team in the Atlantic Division. Luckily, Toronto finished 2nd. We also had the same amount of wins at 44. Obviously not the team we once were in the regular season before. Edmonton, damn. 58 wins, 20 regulation losses, 4 in overtime for 120 points. We're lucky to even be a playoff team starting a 53 overall player on our 4th line. Luckily, we are carried by Connor McDavid. He had 34 goals, 109 points. Matthews had 101 and 56 goals. Nylander has been up and down throughout the simulation. He's had like 90 points, 100 points, somewhere in that area. Morgan Riley, despite his age at 36 years old, is still honestly producing offensively. And then Joseph Woll had a 9-11, 4 shutouts, and 32 wins. Bad news is we got a rematch Florida in the very first round. It is so insanely hard just to get out of the Atlantic Division. It makes these playoff runs increasingly difficult. The good news is we walk into Game 6 in Florida with the series advantage where we lose 5-2, and we got to go back home for a Game 7 situation that we all know we're not great in. I don't know if we've actually won a single Game 7 in this video, but the first round against the Florida Panthers is not a bad time to start. We move on now to play the Buffalo Sabres, who obviously did win the division. They only had like 4 more points than us. The division was very close overall. Maybe not as strong as it used to be, considering we did get by Florida. We have a 3-1 series lead over the Buffalo Sabres. We're forcing a Game 6 after back-to-back losses. Can we close them out? Yes, we do. The Philadelphia Flyers in the Eastern Conference Finals? I have to check and see who they have on their roster at this point. Matvei Michkov is a legit superstar, 92 overall. Trevor Zegras is an 89. Konechny's still an 87. They got Griffith. Noah Cates is an 86. Overall, I'm not going to lie, their forward core is better than ours, especially their bottom six. Defensively, Drysdale, Sanheim. We don't have a single D-man that's as good as either of those guys. They got a better top four. Top six might be a little bit even, and we do have the slight edge in goal, as Joseph Wall is 1 overall better than Pyotr Kochetkov. Facing elimination on home ice, down 3-2 in the series. The Toronto Maple Leafs trying to come back and trying to move on to the Cup Finals for the second consecutive season. The good news is we got a 3-3 tie entering the third period. Owen Tippett will change that, and then William Nylander will regain the tie advantage, while Owen Tippett, man, can you chill the hell out right now? Captain Connor McDavid, with 52 seconds left, ties the game up. You want to talk about a leader? Now that's a leader. All right, overtime it is yet again. We usually do not fare very well in these situations. Backs against the wall, pressure is on, trying to force a Game 7 to get back to the Cup Finals. Matthias Ekholm headmans that puck up to Austin Matthews. Matthews gets bumped off the puck so incredibly easily. That man is soft as Sherman. Matvei Michkov ice queuing. Oh no, Zegras on the backhand, and Wall is going to flash the leather. I mean, he was doing way too much with that save, I'm not gonna lie. McDavid against Zegras on the draw. McDavid will win it. Morgan Riley, top 5 D-man, not acting like a top 5 D-man right now. Turnover by Ekholm. It is disastrous off the goalpost. It somehow stays out. McDavid the other way. Yeah, use your speed, buddy. Go, McDavid. Coming in, shot, easy save by the netminder. Oh, nice turnover. There it is. William Nylander's second of the night will force a Game 7 back in Philadelphia to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals yet again. Nylander and McDavid both had a 5-point night. 2 goals, 3 apples, 5 points. Matthews had 2, Zub 1, Nyes had 1. Game 7 in Philadelphia. Nothing is given, everything is earned. First period, we got a 1-0 lead thanks to our captain. Second period, Philadelphia will respond. Ryan O'Reilly and Jamie Drysdale. We are down, but not out. Bend, but don't break. Come on, Toronto. Nicholas Waugh will score and tie the game up on Pyotr Kochetkov. 9 minutes to spare. We have a power play, please. No, we didn't strike in the PP. Late stages of the third period yet again. Are we going to have overtime on our hands? Back-to-back overtimes, this time on the road. It was Nylander who was the hero last time out. Man, if we get back to the Cup Finals, I will be so ecstatic. Morgan Riley hands it off to Nylander. Over to McDavid through the neutral zone. McDavid waiting, firing from the Rockstar zone, but we get an offensive zone draw. I can live with that. I most definitely can live with that. McDavid is on the draw yet again. 18:41 left to play. We win it. Back. Morgan Riley. Walk down Main Street. Yes! Morgan Riley, top 5 defenseman, sends us back to the Stanley Cup Finals. And we are going to have to rewrite the wrong that was last season. We get one more opportunity. I guess the Dallas Stars are our next victims as we play for the Stanley Cup for the second consecutive season. EA gods, please do not let me down. I don't believe it. No, it is not a typo. Your Toronto Maple Leafs are leading 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Pack it up. It is closing day in Toronto. The cup is in the building. First period. Oh my God, a 3-0 lead. We got Nyes, Nicholas Waugh, and Matt Nyes again. Second period, it's still 3-0. Please, we only have 16 shots on net. How is this happening? Our luck right now is so incredibly well. Tyler Seguin, though. As soon as I said it. 8 minutes to spare in the third period. Can we hold on? Jake McCabe will put the final dagger in the Dallas Stars. The Maple Leafs have done it. They have broken the curse and won a Stanley Cup with Connor McDavid on the roster. He signed with them in year number 1. It took a long time of even more heartbreaking defeats. It took a Game 7 loss in the Cup Finals literally last season, but we rebounded better than ever. We came back better than ever, and now we will win the Stanley Cup. William Nylander is going to grab the Conn Smythe Trophy. 10 goals, 32 points. He sent us to the Cup Finals. I'm not mad that Connor didn't win the Conn Smythe. I don't even care at this point. The Maple Leafs have won their first Stanley Cup since 1967. Nobody watching this video was even alive the last time the Maple Leafs have won the Stanley Cup, and there it is, Connor McDavid chasing that cup until he can't chase it anymore. Well, guess what, buddy? Your chasing days are over. You could make the case and the argument that McDavid should have gotten the Conn Smythe. He had the same exact stat line as William Nylander. Game-winning goals, 2-1 for Nylander. Matthews was solid with 31 points. Tavares had 26. Matt Nyes, 20. Nicholas Waugh was good. Goaltending-wise, Joseph Woll, 16 wins, 1 shutout, and a .922. I would have honestly not even cared if the man had like an .870 save percentage. We won the goddamn cup. There it is, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the 2029-2030 Stanley Cup champions. Brady Tkachuk is going to win the Ted Lindsay. Maurice Richard will go to McKinnon, as well as the Art Ross, and Trevor Zegras will win the Hart Trophy. The Conn Smythe will go to Willie Dobes the Vezina, and the Selke to Leon Draisaitl. It took a little bit of time, but Connor McDavid brought his hometown team a Stanley Cup, their first Stanley Cup since the year 1967. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.